I'm already in trouble.
I'm already in trouble. And the lady came back by and she's like, oh, well, and there weren't the original windows, but they've been changed out like in the 80s.
But I think Saturday night, with the Navy SEAL.
I had a lot of things planned. I haven't done anything yet.
I won't watch it.
I wasn't as a kid. I wasn't. I just stopped my style of doing it.
Beats up somebody in the parking lot. These are real great.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
We're ready? You want to start, John?
14.
Well, yeah.
It's 14.
Take a deep breath.
Right.
It's what?
It's 5:14.
Talk slow. By the time you get your
I'll talk very slow.
prearranged remarks, then you're good to go.
I guess this is on. We're just going to talk.
Ding, 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 ding. Let's go.
I'm not saying 5.
Good afternoon. We will call to order the November 2018 City of Columbia Planning Commission meeting. I'd like to welcome all Planning Commission members, staff, and guests. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to turn their cell phones and PDAs to the silent or vibrate mode. The administrator will now proceed with the roll call.
Mr. Tupper?
Here.
Ms. Mandel? Here. Mr. Waits?
Here.
Ms. Hartz?
Here.
Mr. Cohn?
Here.
Mr. Stigemeyer?
Here.
Ms. James?
Here.
Mr. Frost? Here. And Mr. Dolphin?
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Full house. I'd like to briefly review the meeting format. Applicants with requests before the Planning Commission are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time should include, but is not limited to, an overview of the project, case history, and any pertinent meetings held regarding the request. This time also includes all persons presenting information on behalf of the applicant, such as attorneys, engineers, and architects. This time limit does not include any questions asked by Planning Commission or staff regarding requests. Members of the general public are given the opportunity to address their concerns in intervals of 2 minutes. The administrator has a timer and will make presenters aware of when their time has expired. The Planning Commission reserves the right to amend these procedures on a case-by-case basis. The consent agenda. The Planning Commission uses the consent agenda to approve such non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion and vote. Examples of such items include approval of site plans, annexations, and street names. If a member of the Planning Commission or general public would like to discuss an item on the consent agenda, that item is removed from the consent agenda and then considered during the meeting. The Planning Commission then approves the remaining consent agenda items. The administrator will now read the consent agenda.
This evening, your consent agenda consists of the approval of the October 1st, 2018 minutes. It also includes 5 comprehensive plan map amendments and zoning map amendments for pending annexations. Those include item number 2 on your agenda for 2807 Atlas Road, item number 3 on your agenda for 1200 Veterans Road, Suite number 1, 2, and Suite 2. Item number 4 on your agenda, 209 Plumbers Road. Number 5 on your agenda is 5.82 acres, South Beltline Boulevard. Item number 6, 101 Sparkleberry Crossing Road. And we would request that item number 7, which is not on the consent agenda but is on the regular agenda, also be moved to the consent agenda, which consists of a street name change for the following names listed on the agenda.
Thank you. Do any commission members or guests today wish to have any items on the consent agenda removed and placed on the regular agenda? Okay, so I'd like to ask for, first of all, a motion on number 7 to be moved from the regular agenda to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to move item 7
from the regular agenda to the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Number 7 is moved to the consent agenda. Now I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Consent agenda is approved. We will now proceed with the regular agenda.
Your regular agenda this evening consists of a zoning text amendment for temporary signage. And our zoning administrator, Rachel, is here if you have any questions.
Aye.
Just to give you some background, I'm proposing this amendment because we've had some enforcement issues dealing with feather flags throughout the city. The code is not cut and dry as to where those can go and how we should handle those. So I've created a definition that we can point to, as well as limitations on what districts they can go in. And they're also going to be limited to just being sales, special events under temporary signage. So it's just to really make it easier for my inspectors to handle enforcement throughout the city.
Any questions from the commission? Thank you. If there's no more questions or any further discussion, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the zoning text amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to recommend for approval the amendment of the temporary signage code.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passed. If there's no other business, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Might have set the record.